ready for your questions, and we'll start right here on the right-hand side.
David Cloninger with the Post and Courier newspaper in Charleston, South Carolina. What kind of guy is Will Levis? I mean, I've seen some of the videos about eating bananas with the skin on, but what kind of guy is he when he's not making funny videos?
I think Will Levis is he's a guy who's unapologetically him, you know? And I've said this before, but I feel that I find it refreshing, you know? People at times on social media like to give off a false narrative or try to be too perfect in a sense, but Will's the kind of guy who can be unapologetically him, and I find it refreshing that he's also encouraged to do so. He's not just receiving a bunch of backlash for it, because that's very common to find on social media. So I feel like it's a good representation to other people to just be you know, and that being able to be him and showing that character and personality has taken him to far the highest than I bet even he thought he could take it.
Right here in the front.
Hey, Kenneth. AP Stedham, WHEP, Foley, Alabama. What's the temperament of the blue wall, and what are some of the challenges you face playing guard in a Kentucky offensive system?
Can you repeat the first question?
Oh, what is the temperament of the blue wall?
The temperament of the big blue wall, man, I feel like we're balanced. I think it's a very balanced temperament. I feel that we're a very close group. We have a lot of chemistry. I feel like everybody's close with everybody on the O-line, but I think we have that great balance of when we can be in the locker room just joking around and having fun, cracking on each other, stuff like that. But when it's time to hit that film room, when it's time to hit that weight room, when it's time to hit that practice field, it's go time. It's all seriousness, you know? And I think we've had that going back. It starts with that culture that Coach Stoops and Merrill have put in place that have allowed the offensive line to thrive in such a way, you know? I think that goes back to Coach Schlarman and the way and his legacy and its everlasting impact on us and the offensive line, because that's how we always liked. He always wanted us to have fun, you know? This game is, he just tells us all the time, this game is too hard to not be having fun. You know, you're doing it, especially at this level. So just a very tight-knit group. You know, just love to have fun, but we also love to play hard. And then when one of the I won't say tough things about playing guard, it starts with the size of the opponents. Obviously, defensive tackles and nose tackles are going to be bigger than your DNs and stuff like that. But everything at guard happens at such a quicker pace because you're right there in the middle, and you know that Will is literally right behind you. So you have to be able to firm up and do everything possible to make sure Will's the quarterback's jersey stays clean.
We'll go to the left in the back.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. A lot of folks in Auburn disappointed to see Deshaun Manning head into the portal, but now he's in Lexington. How's he fitting in the locker room? How's he fitting in with the rest of the offensive linemen?
He's fitting in great, man. Tayshawn's my brother, man. We just clicked. Like as soon as he got here, I was his host on his official visit, so I was one of the first people to meet him. And being that we're both from Orlando, Florida, we were able to just click off even more off of that. But he fits in great. He's one of those guys as well that loves to have fun. He's a big dancing guy. He likes to do his thing on TikTok and things like that. He loves to dance, loves to have fun, loves to make people laugh. But he's the same way. When it's go time, it's serious time. And that boy Tayshawn is a unit. He is strong as all get out, and he can move the pile like no other. So I'm excited to see him in the Kentucky Blue this season.
We'll go to your right in the aisle.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX and College Station. I asked DeAndre this, but you guys are coming off a 10-win season and have a couple in the last 4 years. So is Kentucky a football school now?
University of Kentucky is an everything school. We're getting to a point where we're not just focusing on basketball, we're not just focusing on football. To be honest, our rifle team has just won national championship recently. Our volleyball team just won the SEC championship. Our basketball team just won the SEC championship. We have believe our women's swimming or diving team just won championship. So I believe that Mitch Barnhart and President Capilouto have put a great support system in place for that, not just football, not just basketball, but every sport gets the attention it deserves and every sport is able to thrive.
It's one of the best answers we've had in this room. We'll keep up in the back.
As a representative of the offense, is there anyone of your teammates that really impressed you this offseason? Somebody who's improved or has put in a great deal of work?
I think all three of our tackles that are up and coming have been putting a great amount of work to make sure that because they all know that they have big shoes to fill with Darren Kennard, Derek being gone. But it's not just them, it's even before them. It's Landon Young, it's George. You know, there's been plenty of guys who have held down that spot for many years. So when you're coming into that situation, it could be nerve-wracking, you know, and I remember how that felt having to step in right after Stenberg, you know, just replacing that a legend, if you will, you know. Oh man, I hope he doesn't see this because he's not going to let that go that I said that. But just Jeremy Flax, DeAndre Buford, David Wallabaugh, Jagger Burton, just guys on the offensive line that have really stepped up and have shown that they're ready and willing to do whatever it takes to help get this team to Atlanta, and that's all that we can ask of them.
Question in the back on the right.
Kenneth, coming off your surgery a couple of years ago on your heart, can you talk about going through that, how that process molded you into the man that you are today?
Yes, sir. I believe while it was very tough, I believe it allowed me to take a step back and really evaluate who I was, what I was doing, and why I was doing it. You know, going from playing football, playing every snap, I was multi-sport, so I was doing shot put and discus at the time. You know, just going from doing all of those things to not being able to help your mom with the groceries when she comes in, and just little things like that it really makes you question who you are, you know, and that's what really helped me understand that it was important to be more than just a football player. Who was I when I didn't have a uniform on? What was I representing, you know? And I believe those are lessons that have come with me through this process that have allowed me to really even be able to get up here on this stage in front of y'all. You know, being able to have that patience, that determination, the dedication, and just being fully bought into the mission, no matter what the cost was. Because as I was going through this, Coach Schlarman was diagnosed with cancer, going through things worse than me, but he was still able to come out every day, anytime he could, and just be able to put a smile on everybody's face, being able to be that energy guy, that support guy, the guy that you can lean on. You're not supposed to lean on the man that has cancer. The man that has cancer is supposed to lean on you. But that man was so strong and resilient that it didn't matter. He was always going to do whatever he could. He loved us that much. I remember one time we was in practice, and he had chemo that day. So of course nobody expected Coach Lyman to be there. You just finished your chemotherapy, like, go home, go to sleep. That all you see is Coach Lyman coming down the hill on a golf cart with a smile on his face, ready to be at practice and just ready to have a good time, because it wasn't a job to him. You know, he really loved what he was doing. And it helped me really learn to not just love football, but to love the approach and to love practice, because all of those things get taken for granted. Not everybody wants to practice and lift weights every day. But get you an open heart surgery, and next thing you know, you can't lift for 2-3 months. Next thing you know, you're itching to get into a weight room, you know? But I want to be somebody that can help guys without having to go through life-changing instances before they realize they can make these connections, you know, to make that connection that no matter what, it's all about your approach. you know, and Coach Larman was just always that. He was always just reminiscent of that. And I believe that just played a big part in how I was able to stay strong, because how am I supposed to walk in with sad and depressed or anything like that, no matter what my situation is, when Coach just came in off of chemotherapy, off of chemo, and he's still smiling, he's still ready, and he still has everybody lifted up. So I just think that just plays a part in his legacy, and just I want to pass that determination, that strength, that drive on. I want to pass that on to the younger guys, because Coach Larman's legacy will always live on through us. It's our job.
Coach is ready to enter the room, but we have time for one more question.
What would be the significance of knowing you left Kentucky football in a better position than it was when you arrived on campus?
Honestly, it means everything to me, you know. I believe that the University of Kentucky has taken me and they've helped form me and shape me and allowed me to network and get in touch with the right people in the right places, so where I'm not the same 17, 18-year-old kid I was when I got here. You know, it's very few instances where you know for 100% certain that the people in your life they don't just want results from you. They want to see you become a better man, in fact, and just in that totality of that. So I believe University of Kentucky has put the right people and the right stuff in front of me to where I have grown and developed into a better person. And I believe it's only right that I take what I've learned and I take the platform that University of Kentucky has blessed me with, not given to me, blessed me with, and be able to just keep it going, you know? It's always, I was talking about the legacy of Schlarman. We talk about legacies often, and that legacy is who you are when you're not in the room, how people talk about you, how you're perceived. And I've always wanted to be one of those people who, when my name is brought up in conversation when I'm not in the room, or maybe one day when I'm dead and gone, you know, people will still, that smile that I hope people have on their face, I hope that speaks to the man that I was and the man that the University of Kentucky has helped me to be.
Kenneth, thank you very much. Outstanding job.